the questions from paper 2. And I think that as for paper 2 is not that hard because the average is 73 or 5. And we do have someone who get a full marks. Very good. So now let's take a look at the question number 26. Okay. Question number 26. This is a magic square. And I think you guys learned how to solve such kind of a question. As for magic square, the really important thing is that the magic sum, right? And of course, you do have some modules to have to solve that, right? So as for this question, guys, you have some different ways to solve that. The first way is that you can find the magic sum. Yes, Lynn, go ahead. Do you have a question? And we know that the magic sum equals to the center number times by 3, right? So 11 times by 3, you got a 33. You can also do T-modal method. That's right. That's right. And if you forget that model, you can use the magic sum to help you, right? So now you know that the magic sum equals to 33. That tells you that for each column, each row, and each diagonal, they add up to 33. So for this last column, you have 8, 15, they add up to 23, right? And that means this number must be 10. And now you can find A. Then A equals to 33 minus 11 minus 10, and that will be 12. So that's the answer. A equals to 12. And of course, you do have that T-model, guys. You see, as for the T-model, it's going to be these two and these two. So as for the star, you know that 11 plus 15 plus the star equals to A plus 14. And that means A at 14 equals to 11 plus 15. And now you just solve that really easy equation. Then A equals to 26 minus 14. And that gives you 12 as well. And that is what we call T-model. Okay, that's it for question number 26. And now you have this question number 28. So this is a recipe for making 6 cupcakes. And you will see that you got some flour, you have some sugar, you have some milk, and you're gonna use some eggs. And then for question number 1, Andrew uses the recipe and use 1.2 liters of milk. And you see that here you got milliliters, so you need to convert the units into the same. And that will be 1.2 basically equals to 1,200 milliliters of milk, right? Question is how, this is the wrong word, this should be many, how many? How many grams of sugar does he use? So, because you know that the ratio will remain the same, right? So as for 1,200 milliliters of milk, you see this number to say the number of sugars you want to get, then equals to 150 to 45. Yep. Okay. So question. If you want to get 1,200 from this 150, you're going to enlarge that by how many times? What percentage got this question right? I think it's 70% for this question. Guys, can anyone tell me by how many times enlarge it?
8.
Yes, 8 times. So actually, to get the number of this place, it times by 8 as well, right? So 45 times by 8, you got one number, guys. Is that 360? Is that number? 360 grams, that's it. Now let's move on to the second one. Bella uses the recipe to make 8 cupcakes. Then how many grams of flour would be needed? And you will see that for 6 cupcakes, you're gonna use how many flour? 225, right? And now you're gonna make 8. So the ratio will remain the same, 8 to what number? Guys, how to solve that? How to get the answer? 6 to 8. 225 to what number? Yeah. How can you get 8 from 6? You divide by. So basically from 6 to 8, you need to do 2 steps. You get answer by getting the answer. So 6 to 8, you need to divide by 3 first, and then you get a 2 times by 4. So you get 8, right? So divide by 3 and times by 4, 2 steps. And then you need to do the same thing to 225. You have to divide it by 3 and then times by 4. And 225 divided, yes, she, is a she?
Yeah, is it 300?
Yes, that's right, it's 300. So 225 divided by 3, you got 75, and times by 4, you got 300. And that's the answer here. 300 grams of flour. And then if you have plenty of all the other ingredients, but only 4 eggs, then how many cupcakes can you make at most? So that means you don't need to worry about all the other ingredients. Just focus on the eggs. Yes, Kathy?
So you can make 8 cupcakes at most, because 1 egg equals to like 2 cupcakes made.
Yeah, that's right. So as for the number of cupcakes and to the number of eggs, that'll be 6 to 3, and you simplify that, it's just 2 to 1. And then that means if you got 4 eggs, you just double that number. That means you can have 8 cupcakes at most. So the number will be 8 for this one. That's it. So question number 29. I think for this question, the correct rate was just like 50%. But I don't think it's a hard question, guys. So you got Nancy. Oh, it's still Nancy. It's not this. Let me change. It's Nancy. So Nancy wants to buy 4 tickets. 2 shops advertise the same tickets. Each shop has a special offer. And it's for shop A. The normal price is £80. And you got 3, you got 1/2 price. So what's the total cost, guys? As for that 3, you're gonna pay by the normal price, which is 3 times by 80, right? And for the last ticket, you just pay that by half, so which will be 40. And what's the total price? 280, that's right, pounds. And how about the second one? Normal price is 90, and you buy 2, you got 2 at 30% off. That means for the first 2, you need to pay the normal price, which is 90. And now for the next 2, the price of that will be 90. You got a 30% off. So you only need to pay 70 of that, 70%. So 180 plus, guys, can anyone tell me 90 times 70% equals to what number? Is that 63?
It's 63.
Yep, and you times it by 2. We got a 126.
Yeah.
The total price equals to
306
pounds. Okay, which one is cheaper? You're gonna choose shop A or B?
A.
Yes, in shop A. And the question is, you need to be careful. It says the pens are the pens. It's not the pens. It's the tickets, right? The tickets are cheaper in shop A by how many pounds?
26.
26.
306 minus 280.
26.
That will be
Okay.
26. That's right. 26 pounds. Very good. And now let's move on to question number 30. So in the square below, each letter stands for a different number, finds the value of each of the letters. Okay, guys. For such kind of question, I'm gonna start with a column that we got less unknown letters. That means for this one, I can go start. Yes, Cindy?
You have to start with B, B, D, D, and yeah.
That's right. I'm gonna start with the first column. And the first column, B plus B plus D plus D, that is 66. That means on 1D plus 1B equals to 33. All right. And now you will see that for the last row, we have 1D plus 1B, which is 33. We have already know that. So A plus D then equals to 88 minus 33, which gives you 55. And now you can use this information or this one. Let's see, because now we know that A plus D equals to 55. So you can go to the next column, because the second columns, you have A plus D here over here, right? So that tells you A plus C equals to 101 minus 55. So 101 minus 55, you got 46, right? And of course, you can use that 46 to the top row. B plus A, now you can know that. So B plus A then equals to 86 minus 46, which equals to 40. And now that's what we have. But how can we use this A plus B? Because if you move on to the last row, you see that A plus B, now we know that is 40. And then D plus D will be 48, right? 88 minus 40 equals to 48. So now you know that 1D equals to 48 divided by 2, which gives you 24. Since we know D, we know all the other letters. So for B, that will be 33 minus 24, right? You got a 9. And as for A plus D equals to 55. So A equals to 55 minus 24. That gives you 31. And as for C, you know that A is 31, right? So C then equals to 46 minus 31. You got a 15. And you solve the question. That's it. Pretty easy. Just remember, when you get such kind of question, you just start with the column or a row that has less letters. Because for the second row, you will see you got A, C, A, D. You got 3 different letters. But for the first column, you have only 2. And that's why we're going to start with that column. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next question. And this one is about cycling problem. You'll see that when the fraction 1/14 is written at the decimal, we found that after the decimal point, a group of digits repeat as shown below. And that is 0. So you got 428, 571, 428, 571, right? So that means every time you're going to repeat the 6 digits. And then as for question A, write down the digits that are in the 5th decimal place. So you're going to have how many cycles do we have, right? So you have to use 50 divided by 6 digits. And that gives you 8 with the remainder 2. And that means you got 8 complete of this 6 digits and with 2 more numbers. So you go to the next round, right? And the 2 means the second one. So it will be number 2. What is the percentage of the question, right? So I remember for this one, it's like 45%, the correct rate. Okay, question B. How many 2s how many number 2 that you use in the first 100 decimal places. And you'll see that for one cycle, you have only one of the digit 2, right? So the thing is that you're going to find how many cycles do we have in 100 decimal places. So use 100 divided by 6. Guys, can you tell me what's the quotient you get and what's the remainder? Can you type that in the chat box? 100 divided by 6, what do you get? Yes, she?
Is it 16 remainder 4?
Let's see, 16 times by 6, you got a 96, and the remainder is 4, that's right. Okay, and that means at least you need to have 16 of 2s, right? And now you just focus on that 4 remainders. Out of that 4, do you have another 2? Yes, you do have another 2. Because
Yes.
remainder 4, you have a 4, 2, 8, 5, right? And you do have a 1 more of 2 that. So the answer will be 16 plus 1 more. That is
17.
That's right. It's 17. Question C, what is the sum of the first 200 digits after the decimal point? I think the method is just the same. You have to use 200 divided by 6 and see how many of the cycles do you have. Guess what do you have? 200 divided by 6, what do you get?
32.
Is that 33?
33.
So yeah, and what's the remainder you got?
2.
That's right. You got remainder 2. And for each cycle, the sum equals to 4 plus 2 plus 8 plus 5 plus 7 plus 1. What's the sum?
27.
Yeah, the sum equals to 27, right? It's 27. So the final answer to the question number C will be, because for each cycle, the sum is 27, and you're going to repeat that by 33 times. And you have 2 more numbers, and that 2 more numbers will be 1 of 4 and 1 of 2. Okay, guys, just do the calculation. Tell me what's the answer. 27 times 33 equals to what number?
891.
Yes, Jojo, what'd you get?
891, and then you add 6 onto it, so then you have 897.
That's right, 897. That's the final answer to this one. All right, guys, that's it. And now you have such kind of a question. You need to find the patterns of this triangle, of this number tower, right? So Do writes the following pattern on the right board. So what's the second number in row 8? The second means from the left to right. Okay, and now you will see that as for the top one, you don't have a second number. So as for row 2, the second number is 1. And guys, we can have this table to help us. This is the row number. And this is the number that we have, the second number. How about that? The second number. So for row 1, you don't have a second number. But in row 2, the second number is 1. In row 3, the second number is 2, right? And in row 4, the second number will be 3, guys. What's the pattern? You'll see every time you just minus 1 of a row number to get the second number in that row, right? So when you go to row 8, the second number will be 8 minus 1, which is 7. So the answer to the first question will be 7. And then B, so 10 is the second number in which row? 10 is second number in which row? And now you will see this is 10. To get a row number, you have to plus 1, which is 11. Pretty easy. Okay, and then let's go to the question number 3. So Do finds out that the third number in row is triangular number. What is the third number in row 11? So what is a triangular number, guys? You see that for row 1, in row 1, This is row number. This is the third number you have. How about that? In row 1, you don't have a third number. In row 2, you don't have a third number. But in row 3, you do have a third number. 1, 2, 3. That is just 1, right? And in row 4, the third number equals to 3. And then 6 and then 10. You see 5 get 6. It's row 5. In row 6, that is 10. And the thing is that, do you guys still remember what is triangle number? What is triangle number? So as for ESG, you remember that?
Triangle numbers is like, for example, if you have like one number at the top, like one dot at the top and then 2 dots at the bottom, basically that the number of those like those dots is a triangle number. Like 1 + 2 is 3, and that's a triangle number.
Yeah, that's right. So it's like you add this two, you got the number on the bottom, right? And that means, guys, every time you just add, so you start from 1, right? And you add 1, I mean, you add 2, add 3, add 4, so next one you add 4, add 5. But now you have to go to row 11, right? You need to go to row 11. And you start with row 3. Okay, guys, what's going to be that number you have? You have to use 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus all the way to what number? Is that row? Is that 11? Do we need to add all the way to 11? To 8 or to 9? How do you find that? Guys, the thing is that you see, for row 4, if you want to get the third number in row 4, you just add 2, right? And if you want to go to row 5, you add 3. And you'll see that 3 is 2 less than 5, 2 is 2 less than 4, and this 4 is 2 less than 6. And now you want to go to row 11. So that means you need to add to 9, which is 2 less than 11. Make sense? Yes, April?
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, good. So it's add to 9, right? So I hope you can remember this sequence. The sum from 1 to 9 equals to 45. And the sum from 1 to 10 is 55. Okay, just remember that number. And if you don't remember that, it's pretty easy to get at 45. You just use the first number at the last number times how many numbers you have and then divide it by 2. That's the formula to get a sum of an arithmetic sequence. So 1 plus 9 equals to 10 times by 9 is 90, divided by 2, you got 45. That's it. So the answer to this one will be 45. Okay, last question. When you calculate the sum of numbers in each row, do you know what is the sum of numbers in row 11? Guys, let's try to add all the numbers together, see what do we have. So for the first row, the sum is 1, and then 2, and then 4, right? And then 8. And then one number?
20, 16.
Yeah, 16. And then?
32.
2. 32.
32.
32.
32.
32.
So you'll see that for the first one is 2 to the power of 0, and then 2 to the power 1, 2 squared, right?
2
2
cubed.
2 cubed. This is 2 squared, 2 cubed, and then 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5. And you see this number over here, it's just 1 less than the row number. Am I right? This is row 1. This is row 2, row 3, row 4. row 5 and row 6. You see that 5 is 1 less than 6 and 4 is 1 less than 5. And now you need to find the sum of numbers in row 11. It's going to be 2 to the power of what number?
10.
And
10. That's
10.
right. And guys,
10.
just remember that 2 to the power of 10, that will be 1024. Just remember that number. Okay. And in the exam, if you don't remember that 1024, you can just times 2 by 10 times, you get the answer. That's it. All right, guys, that's it for this one. And now we can take a look at question number 33. A newspaper is made up from double sheets of paper placed on top of each other and then fold down the middle. For example, an 8-page newspaper is made from 2 double sheets. That is because for each single sheet, you're going to have 4 numbers and you have 8 pages. So you divide by 4, you'll know that is 2 double sheets. Okay. And then let's continue. It says the author 1 consists of the page number 1, 2, 7, 8. What does that mean? Because you got 8 pages, right? This is a newspaper. What do you have? And this is number 1. So you go to number 2. And for the next, let me change another color. So for the next paper, next sheet, you're gonna have a 3 and 4 at this place, and then 5 and 6, right? So after that, you have 7 and 8. That's it. That's what it means. Okay, you have 2 sheets. So 1, 2, 7, 8 will be in the same, will be on the same sheet, and 3, 4, 5, 6 will be on the same sheet. And one more thing you need to know is that, guys, on the same direction, the 2 numbers add up to this, always add up to the same number. So as for the first page and the last page, 1 plus 8 equals to 9. And if you add 2 and 7 on the same side, that gives you 9 as well, right? And then you will see that 3 plus 6 equals to 9, and 4 plus 5 is always 9. And that means, guys, that means if you get a sheet and if you get the sum of 2 numbers on the same side, that always equals to the same number. And for this one, for this example, it's going to be 9, right? And that can tell you how many pages do you have in total. You just use 9 minus 1. You see, 9 minus 1. You got 8, right? And that tells you got 8 pages in total. Yep. Does it make sense, guys? Understand it? Yes, Cindy?
Why is it 4 and 5?
Why is that 4 and 5? Because you see, if you put these 2 sheets together and you fold them together, it's like a book. It's like a book. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Because that's the way you read the newspaper. And it's 4 and 5, and you add them, you'll find it's 9. It's always 9. Now you can solve the question, guys. So in another newspaper, page 31 and 54 are on the same double sheet. How many pages does this newspaper have? Okay, now I can draw this newspaper for you. Yes, Jojo?
Since you said that each of like the pages is like add up to the same number, does that mean that it has to be like 31 plus 54, and then that is like how many?
Oh, good question. Good question. And yeah, that's right. So the thing is that you got a 31, right? 31 is less than 54. That means you're gonna choose one of these 2 positions for 31. And you need to know that 31 must be at the bottom. That is because if you take a look at 1 and 3, they are odd numbers. And it's for even numbers. It cannot be on the top. Cannot be on the bottom. So even numbers will always be on the top. So 31, this one is 32. And also on the right-hand side, the odd numbers must be on the top. So that will be 1 less than 54. You got a 53, and this one is 54. Make sense? So that's going to be the 4 numbers you have on this sheet. Any questions, guys? Are you with me?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So now you can get the answer. How many pages does the newspaper have? You just add these 2 numbers together and minus 1. That will be the pages of the newspaper. So 31 plus 54 and minus 1, right? So what you get? 31 plus 54 equals to 85, and minus 1, you got 84. That's it. You're gonna have 84 pages of the newspaper. Guys, are we good? You can type 1 in the chat box. Let me know if you understand the question. Okay, very good. Now let's see this one. Let's do this one. Guys, can anyone tell me how to pronounce the name of the first guy of this one?
Evelyn.
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 Okay.
Evelyn.
Good. Thank you.
Evelyn.
Stop, let's stop. I know it. Evelyn. Okay. Evelyn take part in a 3-kilometer race, right? And Evelyn runs at a speed of 8 meters. So when you read to this speed, you will know that you need to convert that in. You need to convert this 3 kilometers into 3,000 meters, because that way you're gonna have the same units. Evelyn, okay? And Frank runs at a speed 6 meters per second. Question, and you do have one more condition, is that when Frank has run 40 seconds, Evelyn sets off in the pursuit. Question, for how long does it take Evelyn to overtake Frank after she starts running? Okay, so you can draw this a really simple diagram to do analysis for you. So let's see, this is Evelyn and this is Frank. You can mark, you can just write down the speed for you to remind you. So 8 meters per second and 6 meters per second. And it tells you that when Frank has run 40 seconds, Evelyn sets off. So this is the pursuit. And after 40 seconds, how long has Frank run? You need to use that time times the speed of Frank, right? So it will be 40 seconds times by 6 meters per second, which gives you 240 meters, right? And yes, that's the gap between Evelyn and Frank. So how long does it take Evelyn to overtake Frank after she starts running? You have to use the difference of the distance divided by the difference of the speed, and that gives you the time, right? So 240 will be the distance gap, and they divide by the difference of the speed, which is 8 meters per second minus 6 meters per second. And then that will give you the time for Evelyn to overtake Frank. So that will be 240 divided by 2. Yes, go ahead. Someone wanna ask some questions? And you will see that is 120 seconds. But for here, you got minutes, right? So you need to convert that into minutes. So you divide by 60. And you got 2 minutes. So you're gonna take Evelyn 2 minutes to overtake Frank. Question number 2. How far is Frank from the finish line when Evelyn finished the race? And maybe that one is a little bit hard for you guys. Let's see. So after that 2 minutes, how far has the Evelyn run, guys? After 2 minutes? Because at that 2 minute, Evelyn and Frank will be at the same place. Let's see, this is a pursuit line. This is what we are, what they are. So the distance of that part should be 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds, right? 120 seconds times the speed of Evelyn, which is 8. Okay, guys, what's the distance that they run? They overtake?
960.
960
960.
meters, right?
960.
That's right, 960 meters. And you know that the total distance is 3,000 meters. And that tells you Evelyn still need to run by how many meters long? 3,000 take away 960 meters.
1040.
Is that 10? Is that 10 or 20?
It's 2040.
Yeah, it's 20. That's right. So 2040. You add this number to 960, you got 3,000. Okay, guys, now you can tell me for this 2,040 meters, it's gonna take Evelyn how many more times to finish it? You have to use this 2040 divided by 8 meters per second, right? It's gonna be how many seconds, guys? 2040 minus by divided by 8, what you got?
255.
255. 255.
255, right? Okay. You got 255 and it's seconds. And that means, guys, after the Evelyn overtake Frank, and from that time, it's gonna take 255 seconds for Evelyn to finish the whole race, right? And now I got this question for you. So for 250 seconds, Frank gonna run how many distance? How long?
2040. Wait, no.
2040? What's the speed of Frank? You have to use the time, the same time, right? Times by the speed of Frank.
1350.
1350 is that number? You got?
2280.
1530.
What?
1530.
1500?
1530.
Let's see. Yeah.
1,360.
Very good, guys. It's 1530. Now you can get the answer of the second one. It says, how far is Frank from the finish line when Evelyn finished the race? That is just asking you, what's the distance of this part? Right? So when Evelyn finished the race, Frank is at this place. So what gonna be the distance of that part, guys?
510.
Yeah, 510. You just use that 2040, take away 1,530. You got the answer, right? So let's see, that equals to 2040 minus 1530. So you got a 510 meters. And that's the answer to the second question, 510. Okay, guys, are we good about this one? Any questions? Nope. Very good. So now you do have the last question today. And for this one, I think we talked about this before. In a movie theater, there are 5 seats in a row. A twins wants to sit next to, yes, is that suspicious?
What was the percentage of this question?
For this one, right? For this one, I think it's only 20%. So twins wants to sit next to each other. Okay, I will give the name of this two guys. So let's see this, it's A and B. How about that? They want to sit next to each other. And that means you can treat them as a group, as a new person. G, a group. How about that? And 3 other people, they don't mind where they sit. So how many different possible seating arrangements are there for, of the 5 people? Okay, guys. Let's see, you got 5, right? A, B, C, D, E. That's gonna be 5 people. And now you're gonna treat this A, B as a group because they need to be together all the time. So now you have to find all the different arrangement for G, C, D, and E. And let's see, you got 4 seats now because you're going to treat G as one person. So for the first place, how many choices do you have? You have 4 different choices. And once one of that choose the first position, then for the second one, you have only 3 choices. And then 2, and then 1, right? Guys, we need to times them together because for this arrangement, you just do that step by step. And in the long-term courses of autumn term, you know that when you do something step by step, you need to use the multiplication principle. So you need to times them together. And guys, when you times that all together, you got 24, but that is not the final answer. Does anyone know why it's not 24 the final answer? Yes, go ahead. Does someone got the, why do we need to times by 2?
We need to times by 2 because like A and B, they can swap around.
Yeah, that's right. So that is because for this group, it's not a person. You don't have some order in that group. You can have AB or BA. That's different. That's why you need to times by 2 to this number, right? So the final answer then equals to 24 times by 2, you got a 48. That's it. Okay, guys. Let's change the condition and see can you solve the question. If we got 3 of them, they want to sit together, then how many different ways can you have? This time you need to treat the 3 as a group now. So G, D, E, how many different ways? Yes, Jojo?
I think it's 18 because if you do A, B, and C as G, then it's 3 times 2 times 1 instead. So if you do that, then it's 6, but then you can switch A, B, and C around. So then you have to times it by 3 again. So then it's 18.
But when I switch,
No.
what the order of A, B, C, how many different ways do we have? Is that 3? Is that 3 different ways?
Is it 6 ways?
Yeah.
6 ways.
So 6 times 6.
Times 6 is 36.
That's right,
So
guys.
36. 6
Right,
times 6, so
okay.
36 ways.
Very good. If you want to find the order of A, B, C, it's the same thing like you do, you need to find the order of G, D, E, right? It's also 3 times 2 times by 1. You got 6 different ways in that group, in that whole group. So that means in G, you do have 6 different ways. And then you just arrange them again. So the answer will be 6 times by 6. You got 36 different ways. That's it. Okay, guys, I think it's all for today. And hope you can understand all the questions of this paper. And if you got time, just finish the paper 3. I think the paper 3, the difficult level is the same as paper 2.
Oh.